Every civilization begins with a story. But what happens when humans invent a way to preserve stories forever? By around 5,000 years ago, in the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, necessity gave birth to writing. What started as a way to count grain and track trade became a way to record prayers, laws, and dreams. Before writing, human memory was everything. Knowledge of seasons, trade, and social agreements was passed orally from one person to the next. Stories and rituals kept societies alive, but memory alone was fragile. In ancient Mesopotamia, villages had grown into cities. Uruk, one of the first true cities, housed tens of thousands of people. Temples were more than places of worship. They were centers of economic and administrative power, overseeing farms, herds, workshops, and trade. With this complexity came a problem. Memory was no longer enough. How could an administrator keep track of thousands of workers, shipments of grain, livestock, and goods? How could disputes be resolved when people forgot or lied? For centuries, Mesopotamians used clay tokens, small shaped objects representing goods. A cone for grain, a sphere for oil, a cylinder for livestock. Tokens could be stored, counted, and sent with messengers. Eventually, these tokens were sealed in hollow clay envelopes called boule. Breaking the envelope revealed the contents but destroyed the record. Someone had a better idea. Press the tokens onto the envelope's surface. Now the record was visible without breaking it. And then came the leap. Why use tokens at all when the impression itself could convey the information? This was the first step toward writing, using marks to represent reality. By around 3200 BCE, in Uruk, the first tablets appeared. They were pictographic, simple drawings representing objects, quantities, or people. A jar meant oil. A sheep meant livestock. A circle with a cross meant one sheep. These early signs were practical, not poetic. The first written words were receipts, inventories, and records. One of the oldest tablets records 29,086 measures of barley tracked over 37 months, and it's signed by someone named Kushim, possibly the world's first recorded accountant. But pictographs had limitations. Complex ideas, actions, verbs, abstract concepts could not be drawn easily. Scribes experimented with tools. The pointed stylus evolved into a wedge-shaped reed, pressed into clay rather than drawn. These wedge marks gave the script its name, Cuneiform, from cuneus, the Latin word for wedge. Over centuries, pictographs simplified, rotated, and abstracted. A curved head became a few wedge strokes. A barley plant became a geometric pattern. Writing became faster, cleaner, and more standardized. The most important breakthrough came with the rebus principle. Symbols could represent sounds, not just objects. A water sign could represent the syllable ah, used in many words. A mouth sign could mean speech or ka, depending on context. This allowed the script to convey anything: names, actions, grammatical particles. Combined with determinatives, silent symbols categorizing words, cuneiform became a flexible, mixed system. Writing had moved from marking reality
to representing language itself.